tens of millions of people have seen UFOs. Many even recall personal encounters with strange entities. And the popular view is that these are advanced aliens visiting us from far, far away.
It's one thing to just deny. It's another thing to say, we believe you had an experience, but here's God's take.
Why is the UFO phenomenon an important topic for Christians to explore, would you say?
Well, it's a pop culture idea, but the themes really are based upon the idea that the universe is billions of years old, that aliens have had time to evolve differently on other planets. They're technologically advanced because they've evolved in advance of us, and that's how come they can build hyperdrive spaceships, visit the Earth. And unfortunately, that pop culture idea has kind of become mainstream science, because when we look at the complexity of life on Earth, rather than people thinking about the creator God of the Bible, they come up with ideas like, well, maybe aliens created life on Earth. It's a mysterious phenomenon. Just recently, the government's been announcing that they've been investigating strange aerial phenomena. And then you've got a more disturbing scenario, and I've met hundreds of these people who claim that they've even been abducted by aliens. And a lot of people use all of this to try to marginalize the Christian worldview. I believe it fits right in the wheelhouse of the Christian worldview if we take the Bible at face value and we apply that to the phenomena and to the evidence itself. Both the Christian researchers like myself and the non-Christian researchers agree on one thing, and to be honest, the lay person looking at the phenomenon who kind of has already made their mind up don't really understand, but all the serious researchers agree about the nature of the phenomenon, and that is that what people are seeing and they're experiencing are not extraterrestrials flying in faster than light spaceships from a galaxy far, far away. That's the Hollywood version. We've come to agreement about something called the interdimensional hypothesis. And that is what we see and what people are experiencing are entities, if I can use that word for the moment, from another dimension or another realm. Now, we might disagree, the secular and the Christian researcher might disagree about the origin of these entities, but we don't disagree about the nature of it. And of course, the Bible has always indicated there is another realm, a spiritual realm. So I would replace the word interdimensional with supernatural and spiritual. So people who are looking for ET coming here from a galaxy far, far away are ultimately looking in the wrong place.
Tonight, a renewed alert from consumer advocates about hot tech toys that sound so smart.
Can we be friends?
We already are friends.
The doll your kids are talking to could be doing more harm than good. Multiple reports claim hackers have the ability to tap into the popular doll, My Friend Kayla, which communicates with your kids through Bluetooth technology.
What's your name?
My name's Kayla and yours is Abby.
My friend Kayla. It's amazing what she knows.
Germany recently banned the doll, citing concerns with Kayla's software, and says it carries a risk of espionage. That country recommends any parents whose kids have this doll discard of it immediately.
Obviously, the idea of a stranger being able to talk to your child while they're in their bedroom playing with their doll is beyond creepy.
A safe zone will be set up for Berlin New Year's Eve celebrations in light of news of sexual harassment around the world. Hundreds of thousands of people are expected to celebrate in the German capital's Party Mile outside the iconic Brandenburg Gate to ring in 2018. The German Red Cross will staff a safe zone on Berlin's Ebertstrasse for women who feel threatened or have been assaulted. Anja Marks, a spokesperson for the event, said psychologists will also be there for consultation. Germany has experienced issues with New Year's Eve celebrations in the past. Hundreds of women were reported to be groped, robbed, and molested during Cologne's 2016 New Year's celebrations. At Berlin's Carnival of Cultures event in May 2016, authorities said 8 women reported intimidation and being touched inappropriately. At the time, Berlin's police spokesperson said groups of men surrounding women in the city have become, quote, increasingly common.
Have you ever spent a day at a farmer's market? For a lot of people, it's a great way to buy food directly from farms. It gives, the local economy a little bit of a boost, and hey, maybe it gives you something to do with your family, and obviously some nice things to cook. Well, according to 2 San Diego State professors, if you visit one, you are essentially, wait for it, a racist. In a new book, they write, quote, farmers markets are often white spaces where the food consumption habits of white people are normalized, leading to social exclusion.
Transgender recruits are now allowed to enlist in the US military. The federal courts ordered the military to start accepting recruits as of January 1st. Plans were in place for the Pentagon to start accepting transgender recruits last summer. However, the policy was delayed when US President Donald Trump signed an official memo banning transgender individuals from serving. Trump tweeted in July that transgender individuals would no longer be allowed to serve, and the policy was made official in August. The announcement set off lawsuits and court cases. And for the last 5 months, there has been an ongoing battle between several federal judges who wanted to block Trump's ban from going into effect, and Trump's administration who wanted to appeal against the judges. Last week, however, the judges won the battle, and the Department of Justice announced Trump's transgender ban will not go ahead.
Turning now to North Korea, a soldier who defected in 2017 was found to have traces of anthrax in his system. That is according to the South Korean news agency. UPI authorities say the soldier had developed an immunity to the disease, though he had not been vaccinated. The discovery raises concerns that North Korea is developing biological weapons. The revelation comes as the U.S. announced it's putting new sanctions on North Korea, targeting 2 senior officials in its ballistic missile program.
A 4-story mural of a giant pink penis on a Manhattan building is being painted over. The sizable painting of male genitalia appeared on Christmas Day at a Broome Street building on the Lower East Side. The building's owner, Sammy Mafar, hired painters starting on December 27th to cover the artwork after outrage from locals. The New York Post reports local police opened a criminal probe over the pink phallus painting. The mural was done by Swedish artist Carolina Falkholt, who was commissioned to curate the piece by local art collective The New Allen. In a statement, Falkholt defended her work, saying, quote, "Art is one of the only places left where we can truly be free." The pink penis wasn't the only mural Falkholt did in the area. She recently did a mural inspired by female genitalia.
Conversation about mental health in both adults and children has a history of being too taboo to talk about, but youth being prescribed psychiatric drugs seemed to take center stage in 1999. That year, 2 students in Colorado not only opened fire in Columbine High School, but also planted explosives and car bombs, resulting in the death of 12 students and 1 teacher. One of the shooters, Eric Harris, had been on 2 antidepressant drugs, the first Zoloft and the other fluvoxamine. Some believe the drugs may have greatly affected Harris's state of mind, possibly driving him to commit one of the worst school shootings in U.S. history. But Harris is not the only example of how prescription pills may be affecting young kids in a disturbing way. In fact, 3 years before Columbine, there were 4 other school shootings, all with one thing in common. Each gunman had a prescription for either antidepressant Prozac or stimulant Ritalin, or was taking both. And 1 month following Columbine, a student in Georgia who was taking Ritalin at the time opened fire on his classmates, injuring 6. Even more tragic, a 16-year-old Minnesota student taking 60 milligrams of Prozac per day, which is 3 times the starting dose for adults, killed his grandparents before carrying out a shooting at his school. The teen ended up fatally shooting 9 classmates and wounding 12 others. Psychiatrist David Healy claims many people seem to only focus on mental illness, but not the side effects drugs have on users.
We've almost reached a stage of Holocaust denialism. That when people commit suicide on these drugs, when there's school shootings, when there's a German plane that goes down, you'll hear about untreated mental illness. You'll never hear about the possible adverse effects of the drugs that the person was on and what contribution that may have made to what we're seeing.
After several meetings with the FDA, where parents spoke out about their children taking their own lives on antidepressants, the agency required drug makers to update their warning labels to include the caution phrase, "increased risk of suicide in young adults." Antidepressants are known to cause anxiety, which can make the patient hear or see things that are not there, which could explain violent behavioral trends associated with some users. Stimulants like Ritalin have very similar side effects, including hallucinations, fear, and irritability. Fast forward to 2012, when 12 people were slaughtered inside a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, after shooter James Holmes opened fire. He was reportedly on both an antidepressant and benzodiazepine, clonazepam. Side effects of benzodiazepines include feelings of sad or emptiness, loss of interest, and mood swings. On top of this, Professor of Medicine Russ Altman claims doctors have a hard time understanding how a patient will respond to side effects of the drug, especially if the patient is on multiple medications. Holmes is not the only infamous mass shooter to have taken benzodiazepines. Stephen Paddock was also re-prescribed Valium just 4 months before a shooting spree, targeting concertgoers at the Route 91 Music Festival. The incident in Las Vegas is now known as the worst shooting in modern U.S. history, which claimed the lives of 58 people and injured 546 more. Meantime, Professor Altman recommends patients to talk to their doctors about any adverse side effects that they may have when taking medication.